I got three names. Well, I was reading our show post, and some folks asked B. Chess, T. Top, Reaper Rail, and I think we spoke about this before, Tink the Demon.
Okay, so what's the question? If I would battle them?
Yes.
Yeah, that was definitely my before I came to this conclusion this morning about not wanting to battle, those was the guys that I was hoping I could potentially battle this year. Everybody you just named. That was my hit list. I think somebody asked me that. I think it might have been somebody on one of the radio shows. They asked me for my hit list, my URL hit list, and I said it would be dope to battle T Top, Chess, and Tink. So
and I know before, we were asking about the whole Tink thing. That was a whole argument. I remember that. When I think I just
had a conversation with Tink on Facebook. It was on your post, Wayne.
Oh, my post. Yeah.
You see
Link
that?
is very popular.
Did you peep that? No, she did. That's a fact. But if you peep that exchange, then you kind of come to the conclusion of what's happening with a lot of these brothers, and a lot of these brothers is opportunists, and they taking the opportunity to try to get under my skin for potential battles. Because what I learned during that exchange with me and Tink on your post the other day or a week or so ago, he told me, he said, look, man, I like you. I think you fire. I think you a killer. And you just another shark, and I'm a shark in the ocean, so we supposed to kill each other. Now, that is what I respect. I don't, like, all you got to do is say that to me. All you got to do is say that to me, and we can battle tomorrow. Like, I'm with the respectful competitiveness, but don't undermine who I am. Don't try to undercut my information or try to undercut my brand and say I'm fake or I'm a gimmick and blah, 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 blah. When it's about respect, like when Tink said, look, you a killer, that's all I needed to hear from him. Because I wasn't even thinking about Tink no more until that exchange. Now that we had that exchange, I'm like, you know what? Let's do that. I want to battle Tink again. I think that'll be a good conversation. I think he'll bring his A game, and of course I'm gonna bring my A game. So if I were to battle again, like I said, I woke up this morning and that's the way I feel right now. I'm not sure I'm gonna feel 6 months or a year from now, but if I do battle again or when I do battle again, Tink is definitely somebody that I would definitely entertain a battle with. Hopefully in 6 months to a year or whatever that case may be, hopefully he's still popping and relevant. Hopefully he don't keep dying. But if he start winning some more battles, man, and that's something that people want to see, man, I'm 100% with that. You know what I mean? I'm 100% with the chess shit. I think the chess shit would be phenomenal. Chess is the only one that I don't want to say chess is the only one that I think will actually be a debatable. You know what I mean? Like chess is the only one that I think. Chess is super fire, and that energy is the thing about chess is the energy is authentic. I believe him. Mm-hmm. I believe that. Mm-hmm. I believe that Chess is who he is in the battle and outside the battle. You know what I'm saying?
I do believe that he cut 2-liter bottles in half to pour the cereal in with the milk. Like I really believe it. Cutting up towels to make.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I believe it too. You feel me? So I feel like me and Chess have a debatable. I feel like I would clearly beat T-Top, and I feel like I would clearly beat Tink. You know what I mean? But I definitely want to have those battles in the future if battle rap is something I continue doing.
Hey, B-Dot.
Yes, sir.
So a couple weeks ago when I was on a Wing show, I had mentioned something at the end of the show about battle rappers coming out here to Cali and thinking that it's sweet to go ahead and put the hoods of the person they're battling in their mouth or other people's hood in their mouth. And,
I remember that.
And what I was saying was that Cortez situation, because I was watching that live, and when I heard him say that in the bottom of his third, I thought it was I thought that was it. Event over, it's about to get shut down. And, you know, I appreciate you for having a level head and being at that point in your life where you could have that mindset to say, okay, no, let me just go ahead and calm everybody down. Let me go ahead and chill, because I know a lot of people, and you know too, a lot of people that would have went left fast, and there would have been no stopping.
Yeah, you know the interesting part about that is a lot of the brothers that came to the battle to support me, I haven't seen them in years. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the brothers that came to support me, that's still from the turf and still from the neighborhood, I haven't seen them in years. So I don't have. I can't say, especially my peer group, because I'm one of the youngest dudes like that. Like everybody that I had with me that night, I'm probably like one of the youngest dudes out the bunch. So I can't speak on. I think it's in the car. I can't speak on, or I can't tell them. Oh no, here it is. I can't tell them how to act. Like those is my older homies. You get what I'm saying? So when he said that, one of the brothers that was with me, he's a loose cannon. He's wild. And when he said that, I turned around and looked at him just to make sure he wasn't jumping through the crowd. You feel me? Because what Cortez did right there, he mentioned one of the rival neighborhoods to the neighborhood that I grew up in. And so I don't really know how the people that was with me would react to that, because he mentioned that, and that could strike a chord with somebody. They could, one of the people from Pacoima Flats is a Mexican neighborhood within the neighborhood that I grew up in, and so somebody from Pacoima Flats could have killed somebody from our neighborhood or whatever the case may be, and somebody that I was with that night probably, potentially could have not let that go. You know what I'm saying? And looked at that like, nah, homie, that's past battle rap. So I turned around and I told Cortez, don't play like that. And I turned around and looked at one of the brothers just to make sure he wasn't going to go crazy. A lot of the other brothers, like I had an older homie with me. He about 40 years old. OG, and so a lot of them I know that they level-headed and they not tripping, but I had to just look at one of the brothers to make sure he wasn't going to go wild, and it wasn't no big deal. When I turned around, a lot of the homies was like laughing and shaking their head like, man, he don't know what he's talking about. So it wasn't too crazy. It probably looked worse on camera, but when I turned around and looked at the homies and stuff, everybody was kind of just like smirking, like don't trip, B-Dot, he don't know what's up. So that was kind of that environment. But yeah, man, it could definitely go left. Like when you think about somebody like Geechee Gotti, I hope and pray with the people that I've seen, the crowd of individuals he with, and I think that I would say that the crowd of individuals I was with probably was a little more level-headed than his crowd. You feel what I'm saying? So I hope nobody battles Geechee Gotti and ever tries to call him a crab or tries to disrespect his neighborhood or something like that, because I personally think that the battle will be over. And I got so much respect for Geechee Gotti in his neighborhood. I called him the day before the battle, and I explained to him what I was doing, just in case, because this gang shit is real out here. You feel me? And no matter what, sometimes when a Crip sees the blood, when a Crip sees the pyro, sometimes it's just on site, no matter where you from, no matter what it is, and vice versa. So I just wanted to explain to him what I was doing so that he could tell his people what it was, and then we can go in there and we can have a good night. And he was like, man, don't even trip off that. We ain't even doing, man, we ain't on that. Geechee even told me, man, bang on that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Chunk up B's and P's all in his face. Like, Geechee was with it, man. And that's my brother right there. We, me, Geechee, Dre, man, we got like an alliance, man. Like, we kind of making moves. We making sure that every move we make is made in unison, you know what I mean, and making sure that these leagues respect the West. You know what I'm saying? Like, I even vocalized my disdain or I didn't like the fact that King of the Dot put out that battle with Dre Vicious. I'm not sure if you guys seen it. They took it down now, but King of the Dot put out the battle with Dre Vicious versus some guy named Megadeth, and Dre Vicious didn't even get to rap because he was sick. Like, Megadeth spit around, and then Dre Vicious was like sick. He had to walk out. So, I kind of told one of the brothers from King of the Dot that I didn't appreciate that. You feel me? Like, I wasn't feeling that. And see, that's what we need to do on the West. We need to have each other's back, man. So me, Geechee, and Dre, we all got each other's back, and we all want to see each other do well, and we all want these leagues to respect the West and respect us as artists, man. So yeah, man, we definitely tolerate no disrespect, and I don't think any of us would allow anybody from out of town to come out here and just disrespect where we from and just think that that's cool, like, especially, like, in L.A. and in L.A. County. Like, we're not going to let that fly, man. Even though it's just battle rap, man, certain things got to be respected, that's all.
I totally agree with you on that. And I'll bring up a few examples, you feel me? Well, because I think me and Nico, we was all on Wayne Show, we talked about this. Arsenal had to give a pass to see what he said versus Mr. Fab. You dig what I'm saying? Because his dreads would have been looking like Cheetos. flaming hot dogs instantly.
That's a fact.
Instantly.
That's a fact.
He had to.
That's a
he
fact.
got a pass, and Mr. Fat was cool with it. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
right.
Some people got to check in. And we can look at certain. We can look at certain situations where people just thought it was entertainment in battle rap, and it ended some battle rappers' career. We can talk about Bill Collector for a second. You feel me? I don't like to harp on it. You feel what I'm saying? But he thought that he was just talking battle rap to Hitman Holler, and he ended up getting a fucking tangerine on his forehead. I've never seen it not that big. You feel me? Because
that's a fact, bro.
You feel me?
And see, this goes back to I'm sorry, not to cut you off. Let me say this real quick. This goes back to me trying to make sure that I don't go there. Because if I go there, then it's really like, okay, all this consciousness and all this positivity the brother was speaking about, it means nothing to him because B-Dot just knocked such and such out.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that's why I said what I said this morning on my post, and that's why I'm saying what I'm saying now in terms of battle rap. Like, I really got to work on myself so that I'm not involved with any situations like that, because I don't want it to give the community a black eye. Like how we was talking about Dr. Umar Johnson and some other leaders that have done questionable things, Tariq Nasheed. I don't want to be a part of that and give the community a black eye, because, like I said, man, it's just a thin line I got to walk, man. But my fault. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to say that.
Oh, basically, like you said, it's a very thin line for real. And some people have clauses in their contracts where you can't bring up certain things. Like Goods, for instance, you cannot bring up anybody in Goods' family, especially his daughter, when you battle him. You feel it's a clause in his contract for that. So we have to look at it from a reality aspect, where some people are never about that life, but they can emulate being a gangster for real. When you emulate being something that you was never a part of, you don't know what lines you're crossing when you say certain things. I just thought it was entertainment when I told your mother to suck my dick. Like, no, some people don't play like that. You feel what I'm saying?
Yo, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Right. You feel me? And so I wanted to commend you on basically keeping the posture real cool as far as when Cortez said the things that he said, for real. Because for one, he was at a disadvantage. For two, he didn't know what he was talking about, like you brought up. You feel what I'm saying? And you don't know who's there. You think you're just talking to the battle rapper, but you're not only talking to him, you're talking to his entourage, because they're all from the same neighborhood. You feel what I'm saying?
Yep.
So,
that's a fact, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, B-Dot.
Yes, sir.
So I brought this topic up a little while ago, man. I said, because I've been seeing all this like DMV versus everybody, New York versus everybody. So I said, you know what? Take the top 5 from Cali, from the West, but like I said earlier, when we say the West, we mean Cali,
California. We watching everybody.
So I had a top 5. I said I would take you, Geechee, Danny. This is all on A Game, Daylight, I'll put him in there, and I had said Diz. Now, after I had said Diz, I said no, I might want to put somebody like Dre Vicious on there on that 5th slot, because he's gonna talk a different kind of talk than Diz can. Diz has star power, but he don't have that lingo like somebody like Dre Vicious does. So I wanted to ask you, if you got a 5 to pick out the West right now to go against anybody, New York, DMV, Midwest, whoever, 5 from Cali, who are the top 5 right now that you picking?
That's so hard, brother, because it's a lot of strategy within matchups, you feel me? Like, if we talking about matchups, I might change my list, you know what I'm saying? But if I just had to pick top 5 dudes that I would have nothing but faith in what they do, I think I would have the same exact list, with either Geechee and Dre being interchangeable. So I would definitely have myself, Danny, Daylight, and Diz. And in that 5th slot, it's hard to say with either Geechee or Dre Vicious interchangeable right there. And then, like I said, if we did it by matchups, if you told me who was facing who or who would be a better look for who, that might change the landscape up a lot too, because I think one of the most slept-on battle rappers that I feel like is a legend from the West is Illmaculate, Illmac. You know what I'm saying? Illmac. Illmac is one of my favorite battle rappers, period. Like, Illmac is one of my favorite. Even Pass is one of my favorites. So it's like, it's a couple of legends that we got out here in the West You know what I mean? Like, it's a couple legends we got out here in the West that, depending on the matchup, like, because I don't think a lot of people can match up with Ilmac. The dude is very smart. He knows how to angle. He has it all. Like, he has stage presence. He's a veteran. Like, he been doing this shit forever. So depending on the matchup,
I don't mean to cut you off, but I gotta ask this question. I don't mean to cut you off and let you go back, but I just gotta ask.
No, you good.
Who won, BK or Ilmac?
Ilmac won that.
Who else is saying that?
Everybody's saying that. Ilmac won.
Yeah, Ilmac won.
Ilmac won.
I'm just
to me, it was the realness. Like, I felt it. Like, Ilmac was so authentic, man. Like, it was just the realness, man. Like, Ilmac is exceptional, man. So I would have to put Ilmac in my top 5. The only reason why I picked the same people you picked is just because I feel like I guess it's a regional thing with me being from Southern California, with me being from the LA area, and I would love to see a lot of the gang culture spoken about, or the street aspect of California spoken about. And I know Ilmac doesn't necessarily do that, and Paz doesn't necessarily do that, and Thesaurus and those guys, they don't necessarily represent the street aspect of California. However, they're still exceptional battle rappers. So depending upon the matchup, I would interchange them in there as well. You know what I'm saying? But if it was just who's going to represent,
I feel like they do, because with Paz, that's the difference I want to get into that too, because people don't understand. It's a huge difference between Southern California and Northern California. And me and Nico spoke about that. Although Nico is Sacramento, I'm gonna tell you something. Sac was really the only place that had gangs. Like back in the 90s, like Oakland, Richmond, we didn't do that gang shit. And no disrespect, not like that, but you didn't. But see, like in Oakland, for instance, young blood and those terminologies was shit that we would say all the time. So,
right.
You know, when you had people who would come down to visit from Southern California or whatever, you know, Too Short, of course. I won't say everybody knows him, but just I was a youngster, just kind of being in those circles. And niggas from LA would start coming down. You know, SIBO was always around and whatever, but it was like they respected the people who would come to, like, if you're at a Too Short show. I was too young to get in those shows, but I hung with people that hung with people. So I was always around, and I'm an observer. So I just kind of watch how motherfuckers move. I always have, and that was something that I always noticed. And it was just like, you didn't come. You know what I mean? You didn't disrespect, because it was neighborhoods in Oakland and Richmond. You had North Richmond, you had South Richmond, you had Hilltop. You know what I mean? You had different places like that, and then you had East Oakland, you had West Oakland, East Oakland, not banging. I'm sorry, they feuding or whatever. Niggas knew they didn't go to the Twomps. That's where Spice One was from. You know, you had a lot of beef around, but they just never got into the gang life. But people don't understand it. But I say all that to say, to me, I feel like Paz is a representation, not necessarily of the gang life, but more so niggas didn't just really, like, the people that I was around, I guess they were serious street niggas. I hung in Oakland, but I hung in North Richmond more. And if anybody know anything about North Richmond, that's not a place for that anybody hangs like that. It's just some shit that occurred. But anyway, you know what I mean? It was,
No, I'm listening to you. I'm agreeing with you.
Just the people that I've always hung around, older people too. The people that I hung around, they weren't pants sagging. They weren't the stereotype. You know what I mean? They were street niggas, but these aren't people that you would see that look thuggish, I guess. You know what I mean? The only thing that they were guilty of was being black men. But they dressed nice, they drove nice cars, you know what I mean? And to me, I feel like Paz is more, you know, he's upscale, but to me he's a representation of who I am. And you know, he's a male, I'm a female. You know what I mean? So I feel like the street life. Yeah, it comes in the Bay Area. It comes in all forms. Whereas we the type of people where we dress a certain way. You may not notice, but and people look at me every day and they're like, you know what? That when niggas Wing is just the nicest, sweetest person. But then when I start barking on niggas, it's like, who the fuck is that?
Right.
Right. You know what I mean? And
no,
so that's why I say that. He's very calm.
Yeah, no, I don't want to. I don't want to make it. I hope that didn't come off wrong because I don't want to make it seem like Pass is not street because he is street and like you said, it's a different street. Like in Oakland, it's a different regular quote unquote street nigga in Oakland than it is LA street nigga because the LA street nigga is gonna be some type of gang affiliation. You know what I mean? And in Oakland, the regular street nigga is gonna say blood and cuz, which I think is dope. You know what I mean? Like I had to learn that. Like when I was coming up in high school and shit, I had homies and I got family that's out there in Sacramento and Oak Park, and then I got homies that's from that whole area, whether it be Oakland, Sacramento, or whatever. So when I was hearing them say blood and cuz, I would hear them be like, yeah, blood, I'm about to go to the store. You want anything, cuz? And I used to be like, huh? Like nigga, how did that work? Like, how you gonna say both? But then I started to learn the culture. You know what I mean? I started to learn the culture up there, and it's a different, like you said, it's still street. It's just a different way of coming across. So I don't want to say that in a wrong way. Like when I said what I said, because Paz is my boy. Like for real. Like I talked to Paz, and we got nothing but love for each other. So I wasn't trying to say it in that way. But yeah, if I pick my top 5, definitely I would have a lot of them brothers interchangeable. It's really hard to pick that. To answer your question, Nico.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, I was gonna say I'm born and raised in Sacramento, man. That lingo some people be using out here, I'm still not used to, man, because I grew up in Oak Park, so there was one lingo, and when I got to other parts of Sacramento, I'd be like, huh? And then you got people from the Bay living out here, you're like, what? And then you gotta, like you said, you gotta get used to it. Well, I wanted to throw this out here. I wasn't gonna do this, but since the brother's on the phone, we got somebody who is the Tay Rock fan club.
Oh
now,
my
I
God.
say that if you battle Tay Rock, if you battle Tay Rock, you dropping the meanest, nastiest 30 on this dude. I'm talking about body bag. You think if you battle Tay Rock that you would be able to just put this dude away?
Hold on. Can I explain myself before you just throw me completely under the bus? I felt the first 2 rounds.
Why do you want to explain?
Let me say
answer the question.
Hold on. I mean, I just want to put a disclaimer out there. Tay Rock is one of my favorite battlers of all time. B-Dot is currently my favorite battle rapper for real. And I put it in the group. If they was to battle each other, don't nobody ask me no questions. I'm going to be solid the whole time for real. I'm gonna keep it 100. You go in, brother. My bad. I didn't mean to be long. You go in.
No, you good. You good, brother. Tay Rock. Let me say this first and foremost. Tay Rock is definitely one of my favorites to watch because my thing is, it's for me as a battle rap fan. I need either or. Either you're gonna be like conscious, or you're gonna have like angles. Like of course everybody knows it's no secret. Lux is one of my favorites. I love watching Lux. I love watching Mook. I love watching Hollow. To me, those guys are exceptional with angles and shit like that. So either you're going to give me like some intellectual approach with your angle and breaking somebody down, or you just going to be totally hood and street and a real nigga just from top to bottom. Either way, I love it. So I feel like Tay Rock is just a real dude from top to bottom. And I like the fact that Tay Rock almost fights in his battles and shit, like, cause to me, it just let me know he's real. Yeah, I mean, I love that shit.
I love that shit. The passion is there. It indicates that the passion is there.
And it indicates that he's a real nigga. Like, I like the fact that when somebody all in his face and shit about to go down, like, he looked like he ready to squab. Like, I like that. I just watched a little clip from him and the brother Drugs, and they was about to get into it while Drugs was rapping. Like, I personally, I know this sounds crazy coming from me, but I personally love that shit because for me, at least be either or. I just like authenticity. If you are who you are, brother, I respect it. If you a real street goon nigga and you just about that life, I respect that coming from you. So I just want to say that first and foremost in regards to Tay Rock, because what I'm about to say next is I would do him completely dirty. I would do him completely bad because he wouldn't be able to. Tay Rock, there's certain people that just can't adjust, and Tay Rock is one of those people. Tay-Rock gives you Tay-Rock every battle. You don't see nothing new,
I've been
nothing
saying
different.
that for how long? I've been saying that for how long, and that's why I like Tay-Rock as well. You feel me?
Yeah, that's a good reason to like him too. Like you know what you're gonna get. However, standing in front of me, if you're not able to contend with the conversation, if you're not able to contend with the talking points that I'm gonna bring up, if I'm gonna call you this and that and break down who you are, and then you just gonna turn back around and tell me how your gun's so big and how you'll spray my brains on the wall, you're gonna lose the battle. You're gonna look silly. Like you're gonna look really silly unless you have some type of talking point. And I think that's what everybody realizes when they battle me. And I would think that somebody like Tay-Rock would kind of like have something, maybe not like a whole round. Yeah, I think he would adjust a little bit. He might have some bars like about me being conscious, like nigga, you conscious, I'll knock you unconscious, like some shit like that. Like
some simple shit, some real simple light shit.
B-Dot, you're talking to the Tay-Rock hate group over here. I'm the only me and you are the only people that like Tay-Rock on this line.
We don't hate that man.
Nobody over here hates Tay-Rock. I just have a preference for substance. That's why B-Dot is my favorite rapper. Like, I have a preference for substance.
I agree.
Especially coming from the West Coast when it's something that I latch onto, because L.A. is my second home. So when I hear him spit, I'm like, whoa. Like, that's touching my soul. Like, that's getting to me. So,
Nico,
no disrespect to Tay-Rock, but Rock just ain't messing with certain people who have them angles. It couldn't happen.
I agree with you on that.
And I'm going to need y'all to get him a spelling teacher on a consistent basis. That's all I'm saying.
All right, see, what B-Dot just said basically personified how I feel about Tay-Rock. And what Nico just said actually helps my argument as well. Because you said not only does B-Dot have substance, he's from your neck of the woods. How many representatives
now he's trying to say you're biased.
I'm not. Listen, you got to let me finish. No, that attracts, put it like this. I would like Tay-Rock if this nigga was from fucking Wichita. Flat out. Because he proves, I explain this all the time. But the first thing people are going to say is, well, you're from Baltimore, he reps Baltimore, so that's why you like him. No, I like him because he's always him. Every time we have these conversations, Nico, the first thing I say is, Tay-Rock is the most consistent battle rapper I ever seen in my life. And his track record proves it. It proves it.
That is not true. That is not true. He's not the most consistent. We ain't supposed to do this.
Hey, hold on. We got somebody on the line right now who has nothing but body bags on his resume, so I don't know.
Okay, see, but all right, I get what you're saying, but if you look at I realize
Danny Myers.
Wait.
Forgot about Danny Myers.
No. Let me please let me explain this, please, because I know y'all about to go crazy. I don't like Tay-Rock. I get it. Let me explain this. Danny Myers is very consistent. I will give you that. But like we were talking about earlier. Please, y'all ain't gonna let me finish, all y'all.
My fault, brother Greg. I was going to agree with you. I was going to interject this one little point real quick because I'm actually in agreement with you. And the way that I agree with you is that my thing about consistency is it also matters what your schedule looks like, meaning who you playing against, who you rapping against. You know what I mean? So I think Tay-Rock deserves a lot of credit for his consistency in front of killers. You understand what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like he stands in front of killers,
I agree.
and he's consistent. So like somebody like myself, like I definitely appreciate y'all, loving me for what I do and everything like that and my consistency. But I haven't stood in front of as many killers as a Tay-Rock or a Danny Myers, and I just feel like to consistently stand in front of killers and consistently do well, consistently like never choke, never stumble, get through all your rounds, clear, crisp. I feel like Danny Myers and Tay-Rock are the two, whether or not you want to put somebody above the other one, I feel like they're the two most consistent battle rappers in battle rap, period.
In the history of battle rap. You feel?
Yeah,
and I would agree.
I would agree to that.
I would say this. All right, if you want to say 1A and 1B, because that was a very good angle when you brought up Danny Myers, Nico, and I totally agree with you because he brings fire every time he battles. The only reason I would give the edge to Tay-Rock is because we know that Danny Myers, because he told us a million times that he's been battling for over 16 years, but he just doesn't have any footage. Please listen to me. He doesn't have any footage to back up his claims. That's
no, because he's trying to get this argument off that we had. I lost my voice. Where the fuck is Jerome? Get Jerome on the phone, because, see, we ain't supposed to do this. We ain't supposed to do this. We ain't supposed to do this again. I lost my voice yesterday fucking with you about this bullshit that you talking about. Don't nobody give a fuck that Tay-Rock had footage at 16. That don't mean shit. That don't mean a goddamn thing. That's nothing. We gave you the youngest legend. He is not a legend. He is a consistent baller. Can we get off this Tay-Rock?
I'm not sorry. You know what? Wait. I'm not even going to argue the whole legend thing right now. I don't even care about that. I'm making my point that you've been watching him for over 11 years. He's been consistent for 11 years, which you can vision with your own eyes. Danny Myers tell you stories and legends when he was battling back then, which I do believe. But if you bring up when T-Rex battled Lux, people still don't believe it, and Lux admitted out of his own mouth that he lost to T-Rex. And people don't believe it because of the talent level that Lux has compared to somebody like T-Rex. But you actually have footage of Tay-Rock when he was 15, 16 years old with big-ass hats, being as consistent as he is in present day on January the 21st of 2017. That's why we put him at number one.
Get his ass blown up, and Danny Myers blew up in less than 3 years.
I rest my case.
Kill your goddamn argument. Let's stop here, okay?
Hey,
stop.
I apologize to everybody on the line right now.
And I just need to say to Preston, I never said I was a gangster. Don't fuck my words up, okay? I just said I was highly affiliated.
Oh, shit.
That's the new inside joke. That's the new inside joke on the list.
That's our inside joke.
Hey.
I was highly affiliated with people. That's what it was.
That was the coldest body bag I've seen, because that man was like, "Hey, you feel me?" He's like, "No, I don't feel you." And that man was just.
Let me tell you something. I hate to even bring it up because I felt bad for that man. You said that were you disappointed?
I had to mute my phone.
Right. You said you were disappointed, but in all actuality, you didn't come out of the bag. Like you stood. You know what I mean? You educated. Yeah. You educated.
Yeah. Right.
But when that man said that, I thought she was going to jump through the goddamn phone. I was like, oh, my God, why did he just – how do you do
it? I mean, to credit B-Dot, though, you feel what I'm saying, is somebody that's enlightened, like my brother Nico as well, you feel what I'm saying, as far as pushing the consciousness forward to enlighten our people. When he would consider that he had a moment, it was just a teaching moment for real. But sometimes you got to be like, wait a minute. You said this to me? Hold on, you about to get this work. You feel what I'm saying? And then you get back into your humble state, you be like, nah, I shouldn't have did that. But everybody else looking at it from a different angle, like I didn't see the aggression or you stepping out of your character. It's like sometimes you got to put things in proper perspective. In the same way that Wayne just said that she cringed, I cringed as well, because we was definitely inboxing each other like, this is a bag right here. This is a bag.
Yeah, I have my phone.
You didn't have to give the behind the scenes.
No, it was a bag.
I was. It was just interesting because it's like, these. I think it's so funny because they all resort to this. Tink said this too when I argued with him. I know everything that you know, B-Dot, and I think that's impossible. Like, if I can give this analogy, it's like if I go outside and I tell you it's raining, and then you come outside with your shirt off in the rain, and I got an umbrella, and then I'm like, my nigga, why you about to catch a cold? Put a shirt on, put a jacket on, go get you an umbrella, and you telling me, I know it's raining.
Right.
So what? I know it's raining. I'm not tripping, though, nigga. I'm not tripping. I know it's raining. I'll go get an umbrella when I feel like it. It's like, bruh, come on, bruh. Like, that's why I can't believe these dudes when they tell me that. Like, nah, I know everything you know, and I study what you study. There's no way you can study what I study without being compelled to be a conscious battle rapper then.
Thank you. If you knew all these things.
It would consume you. Yeah, it would consume you.
You got to give him credit because he tried. He definitely. When you asked him, what do I know? I was like, Oh, please answer. Just give a digit
but hold
of
on.
something.
In his defense, though, it was his homie, this big homie that was on the line before him that was talking real reckless and then dipped out before you got on the line and left his little dry.
And I listened to that. I listened to that this morning, and to me, Jakkboy did better than him because he was coming off like he was well spoken and basically Jakkboy was like the hood version of the same perspective, and the other brother Omega was trying to be like well spoken about it and trying to articulate the point a little better than Jakkboy was able to. But it was the same conversation. And the brother said that I ducked a debate with him. Like I never heard of that brother ever in my life. Like the only Omega I know is vitamins. Only Omega.
More body.
And like I never heard of a brother named Omega. And so if we're gonna have a real conversation, think about this though. We want to have a real conversation about black empowerment, right? If you really Pan-African and you really about black empowerment, then you're automatically anti-Greek. You're automatically anti-Greek and anti-Roman. Now the name Omega, that comes from Greek culture. It's just like you got a brother with the name Omega. You got a brother with these type of and then you gonna tell me about what I'm doing, and it's like, come on, bro. Like, what are we talking about here, bro? Like, I just don't understand, man. I don't understand why everybody got such a problem, with if you got kids, like the brother said, he got kids and a wife and all that. If you got kids and a wife, then I'm fighting for your kids' future. The stuff I'm talking about is to
I believe he's Nigerian, so maybe he has a reason for Omega.
You probably Nigerian. Omega has nothing to do. Omega's Greek.
Correct.
Nothing to do with that.
I mean, you're trying to unzip in the bag right now.
And you know what's funny? You know what's funny? What we got to stop doing is trying to give people credit for being directly from the continent. Like if he's directly from the continent or one generation removed from the continent, that doesn't make him any more African than you. Because if you did your ancestry, if you did your DNA breakdown and got your results, you might be 70 to 80% sub-Saharan African and actually from Nigeria as well. So him being directly from Nigeria or one generation removed from Nigeria doesn't mean we need to call him Nigerian, because we're all you get what I'm saying? Like, we're all African. So all you got to do is trace your lineage and see where we're from, and then you say if my shit doesn't say I'm Nigerian, my shit is Mandinka. I'm from the Mandi tribe. My people go back to the Mandi tribe. So, but if I was Nigerian, I could be just as Nigerian as him. So if the brother, I don't know if he uses that as a crutch to say, well, I'm Nigerian, so I probably know more about Africa than he does, and da-da-da-da-da. To me, that's one of the lamest ways to go about this whole perspective on us in this diaspora, because we're all African descendants. Some of us are a couple generations removed, and some of us are 10 to 15 generations removed through slavery. You get what I'm saying? So, like, people in my wife's family, on her side, they straight from Senegal. They still carry the name Senegal. She got uncles with the last name Senegal. You feel me? And so they're only one generation removed. But I know more about Africa than all of them. So it's like, man, all I know is whenever y'all want to have me back on with the brother said he wanted to debate about what, I'm not sure. But if the brother want to call up again and y'all want to have me on and have a conversation with the brother, I would love to do that, because I was listening to the first half of the conversation that I wasn't involved in, and he was just saying a lot of stuff that was just false, and he was just painting a false narrative about who I am, which I ultimately cleaned up anyway when I was conversating with Jakkboy. But I would love to have some type of intellectual discourse with him, since he purports himself to be so articulate and intelligent. I would rather have that conversation with him than have it with a brother that said, well, shit, nigga, I ain't humble. That's not in my character to be humble. You feel me? So I'd rather have it with somebody that understands how to be humble and understands how to take in information, which the brother Omega seems like he would be that type of brother. So if he wants to get back on one of these days and have that conversation, I'm open to that, because apparently I ducked some type of conversation with him when I didn't even know that he existed. But that's neither here nor there moving forward. So we can.
That is why I was trying to get you on when I was.
Hey. That's why I had to start. That's why I had to start talking and trying to try and change the narrative, because when they kept saying, I'm like, man, I'm not feeling that shit. And dude had jumped up right when I started talking, because I was trying to body both of them. Like, hey, nah, y'all ain't gonna get away with that false narrative on this show. Like, nah, we ain't doing that.
And I appreciate that, brother. I listened to it this morning. That's when I hit you back in the DM today. Like, I appreciate that. The crazy thing though, Wing, like when you first hit me, that whole argument I had. My grandmother lives directly in the apartment building below me. So I was down in my grandmother's house. She's in her 70s. She suffered a stroke a couple years ago. So she just be chilling in her house. Yeah, she be chilling in her house all day with no company. So I take my son down there on days like that, and I was down there with my son, talking to my granny. And so you had hit me, and I was just like, I'm not in the space to do this. And then when you hit me again and tell me like the whole premise of the conversation, I was like, all right, I got to do this. That's the number I hit you with was my granny's house, my granny's house number. So I'm over there in my granny room arguing. She get mad at me because I'm arguing this shit, and she felt like my son gonna pick up on that. She was telling me like, they call me BC or whatever. That's my nickname in my family. She was like, BC, you don't need to be talking like that in front of your son. You know what I mean? So I'm over here trying to engage in that conversation while I was at my granny's and everything. So that's why it took me so long to get involved in the conversation. But nah, man, I feel like it's needed, man, because people can get away with painting this false narrative about you. And like I said, I feel like Jakkboy and Omega and people like that, I feel like they represent the battle rap culture. So I feel like fans want to not like me. So if somebody's able to project a certain narrative about me, the fans that want to not like me, they're gonna run with that. Like, yeah.
See, right. Even doesn't matter how illogical it is, they're just gonna run with it. And when I was listening before you got on the phone and they was talking about you, I was like, this shit don't make no goddamn sense at all.
None.
You feel what I'm saying?
None at all.
Because honestly, I would consider myself a slight pillar in the conscious community. So when I hear brothers going attacking other people that's in the conscious community, I'm like, it's kind of like you're talking about me. Like, I can't body slam you if you disrespect me, but I can still be conscious at the same time. I can have the autobiography of Malcolm X in my back pocket, and you can still get this three-piece if you coming at me sideways. You feel what I'm saying?
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's why I asked the brother. I said, why do you think that? Why is this? And Polite deals with this as well, and I've heard Polite say this as well. Like there's this false narrative or this false or this misinterpretation that consciousness is synonymous with things like being broke or being soft or being passive. Being passive. Yeah, like, and so Polite. The way that Polite gets it, when I'm learning from what he deals with the fact that he's conscious and he got money. So people don't like that. Like, how can you be conscious and how can you be for the people and you driving fancy cars and living in a high rise in downtown LA and da-da-da-da-da? Because consciousness is not synonymous with being broke. That's why. Why can't I be conscious and get money and take care of my family and give them the life that they deserve? It's the same way I feel about, like, the conversation we was having the other night. Like, why can't I be conscious and still be involved in the community and still be involved with my people? Like, that's the overall point of the conversation, man. And it's very unfortunate that we have to have this.
I'm going to tell you something that somebody told me, and I guarantee all y'all going to laugh for real. Because I'm very good at NBA 2K, right? A brother told me, like, you playing the white man's creation. How you conscious and you playing 2K? Like, are you serious right now? Like, did you really just ask me that?
There's factions of the conscious community, bro. That's why I don't even like to be entangled in it, because there's different factions. Like, you really, you got those type of people, to me, are the type, like, the Kill Whitey, I got melanin, like they wild out. They're more like metaphysical. Like, they feel like they're from a different planet and they got, they got melanin powers and the white man.
I definitely heard about that astral planing and all this.
Astral projecting and all that. Like, that's that wild shit, man. I'm not part of that conscious community. I'm part of tangible empirical data. Like, I'm not part of that shit.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep it very 100 for real. You feel what I'm saying? Because I've never been in the age right now where considering yourself being down for your people can be looked at as a bad thing for real. You feel me? But then I do look at some of the people that they put in high regards that's leading the so-called conscious community, which I will say that I'm not a part of. But I'm pro-black by default, because a lot of things that pro-black people go by, I agree with, but not all the things. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not an extremist, but they put so many. I've never seen in my life where somebody can say I love my people. You be like, oh my goodness, here go that whole tap. You better do the whole tap shuffle. You feel what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
Using a positive to make a negative to somebody that's doing something within their community. But then when you ask them, what are you doing for your community? They be like, well, I ain't pro-black. I don't give a fuck about these niggas. So how can you question me? How can you question me? You don't even put in half effort. That's a whole other story. You feel what I'm saying? And it comes down to the criticism that you get, and I totally hate it. That's what actually made me more of a fan of yours, because the people that's asking you are, well, you're in a battle rap. You're about to battle somebody. Say you be feeding the homeless. Well, all right, let's flip the script real quick. Let's flip the script real quick. You talk about begging AKs, choppers, and unloading. Why you ain't shooting nobody right now? But you said my face rapping against me. You see how these things, you see how these roads don't cross together? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because
That's a great point. That's an excellent point.
You feel what I'm saying? When you say that you're about your people, the first thing you're going to say, oh, what you Gandhi, you Malcolm X, you Elijah Muhammad, what you Khalid Muhammad now. But then when you ask them, you talk about a million guns, like what you John Gotti. You feel what I'm saying? Are you Larry Hoover? Like which one of these people are you? Oh no, it's just entertainment. It's just entertainment. So you rap about guns for entertainment. I rap about consciousness, and I really live it. You don't live that gun talk. Because somebody can slap the head off your head for real, and you gonna look at Smack and be like, "Oh, what's going on?" So you gonna have a whole back moment.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
You feel me? I ain't gonna say some of these ass rappers piss me off, but I'm gonna leave it alone on that note.